Hello everyone, welcome back to the another episode of the Tech Guy podcast. I know it's been more than 84 days, more than 3 months that I have uploaded this podcast last time. But I have done some couple of changes that you will see in upcoming podcast that will be regular. And also in this podcast you will see some kind of changes that I have done which will make me also do this podcast couple of uh, much more easier than before. And another thing I want to announce here right now is about my newsletter. If you don't know that I have a weekly newsletter that I write. If you are much more of a reader than a listener as a podcast and you like to read more, then I will highly recommend my Substack, that is newsletter that I write thrice a week, that is on Monday, Wednesday, and on Friday this podcast, but mostly Monday and Wednesday. But if you are much more of a reader, I will link down the newsletter in the description. Go and check out. Or you can also uh, just download the Substack app, which is available both in I think Android and iOS, which I also post there. We can also read those newsletter there, definitely free, nothing cost there too. So if you are more of a reader than a listener and like to get more kind of in detail what is happening in tech industry, I do much more kind of a depth analysis there too. And I have done more than 90 newsletters there from the last 6 months. So even if podcast doesn't come in a week just because some kind of technical issues or shooting issues here and there, newsletters will always be there. So do check those out, and let's just start with our today's podcast, that is the Tech Guy podcast. So in today's episode of the Tech Guy podcast, we have three major headlines that happened in last 2 months that I want to talk about in this episode. The first one is the Instagram Teens account. One of the major changes that is Instagram, one of the major updates that Instagram has given in the last 2 months to us about their future, especially in the upcoming years, that will change it forever, I think. Then the second one is the YouTube. YouTube announced couple of new features for their uh, creators, and also about couple of new features for their users too who uses YouTube app. Then we have the Tesla V Robot event that happened last month. So these are the three major headlines that we are gonna talk about in this episode. And also, if you are not seeing the video podcast right now, it's because that I have changed the whole video podcast right now. Is because if you're seeing just this one graphic I have shown on the screen, is because it's not easy to shoot and even record a video while doing a podcast, because podcasts are long, it takes a lot of space. So right now what I'm gonna do, whenever I have this kind of problems where I'm not in a really good condition of shooting a video podcast, I will be doing this type of podcast where there will be a graphic on your screen which will not just not just help me to do the podcast easily, but it will be easy to even edit and upload weekly. But yeah, I'm not ditching the video podcast. It's just it this is the easier way, and from now onwards, if I don't do video podcast, I will be doing this one. And also, ultimately, if you don't like video podcast, this whole podcast will be also available on Spotify or any other podcast platform you listen to. So let's just get into the headlines first. So I want to talk about the Instagram teens accounts. So I will just lay what it is right now. So Instagram teens account is basically the whole accounts that comes under age of 16, that will automatically will be come under the Instagram teens account. So couple of things that they have addressed. This announcement was done by, I think, Adam, who is also the head of Instagram. On his on his threads and in both Instagram, you can go check those hot videos. I will also try to link down in the description. Okay, so all the accounts that are like that age under 16 will fall under the Instagram teens account. So what Instagram teens account does is automatically have your account in a private mode. That is what private mode is basically on Instagram main account right now. Whatever you have, if you have done on your private mode, so all those teens accounts will automatically will be in the private mode from the get-go whenever you start your Instagram account. Then parents will have more control over their child's Instagram account, what they see, especially the settings. Whatever the settings they go through, will the parents will also have that kind of control over their Instagram or their kids Instagram account, especially the settings. Then the third one is the whatever their child, especially the teens who are especially chatting with, especially with uh, interacting with on the platform, will be also known to the parents. So obviously they stated that in the announcement, that in that video you can also go and check, is that obviously parents will not be able to see the chats whatever they are chatting with whoever on the Instagram, but they will also be knowing, okay, these are the 5 6 amount of people who their kid chats on Instagram DMs, especially on daily basis. So they will just be knowing the names here and there. um, Not lot much from their side how it is working, because it is feels like much more of a kind of a concept right now. uh, I don't know if it's if they have implemented this whole Instagram teens account in, especially the trials they start this. They stated in the video that they want to go through first couple of countries, like first USA, then Australia, then Europe, then all over the world. It's just basic any other kind of features update that any app does, like they do with specific small group of people. That is in even in USA they will start with small group of people, even in small states, then they will grow it bigger. But not much kind of a big information after the update how the update is working on. But yeah, so parents will have more control over their child account. What kind of content they see on the Instagram will be having the more control. Parents will also be knowing what kind of content they that their child is getting consumed on Instagram. Or even teens, like uh, the whole people who under 16s will be able to have more control over what content they want to see, especially even in the For You page. They will be having more filters around what kind of content they want to see on the platform. So other things like time limit and some couple of settings they talked about, that parents will have control over their child account. And that's it for it for now. That's the whole um I think the Instagram teens account for now. But yeah, one of the major things that I've thought when they first announced was this is because obviously Instagram is not safe, especially a child under a 16-year old, and who is much more kind of an easy target for especially scams. Yeah, lots of uh, things happen on Instagram nowadays. But so I know lots of questions do came to me while when this announcement was done. I also whole cover this thing on the my newsletter. I will also link down specific link down that newsletter below also, where my major concern about this whole teens account was the age faking, right? Like what are they gonna do about uh the students, the children's, the teens faking their age and using different, let's say, uh, different emails, different, yeah, like hiding from their parents. Let's say they do different accounts. What are they gonna do about that whole thing? And as in the announcement, they didn't mention what kind of uh, thing are they gonna do about age faking. They said only they are kind of making a new, I know, a function where they will be knowing who is faking, who is not. But it's that's it. It's like really, really vague amount of information we have right now. But let's say hypothetically this all comes together, and let's say hypothetically every every child under 16 tries have this kind of Instagram teens account. I think it's a good step, hypothetically speaking. Like we don't even know the repercussions of it, like the age faking the thing just talk about. Then are there going to be more like fake accounts on Instagram? Because are there going to be more accounts of Instagram just because now their parents are going to have lots of control over their child's account, and their child is just like, oh, I don't want my parents that kind of control over me on an Instagram, so they are making multiple accounts. Like lots of bad stuff can happen as we can go through it. But let's say hypothetically it happens what as they are imagining a future of, especially for teens. But it is a good update. I know when the first time I thought about it and even I saw about what they were talking about, it is a good update, a good step towards a good future for especially Instagram. Because especially uh, if you are on internet, especially this the theme around social media, what is happening right now, especially on Instagram, TikTok, yeah, and even Twitter, lots of social media. The social media that are popular is a, in all bad reputation. And it's not just even the parents are complaining, but it's all the people, like from all the generations, especially who is at least somewhat amount of time who has spent on this social media apps. They have their bad side, and people complain every day about these apps on that app only. Like, how are they allowing this kind of content on this app? How are they allowing this kind of, yeah. So it is a lot of discourse around lots of people have really, really extreme thoughts about this app. Lots of people don't want to even, like, especially their future, like even like my generation growing up and my next, like millennials, like they don't want their children to go through what right now they have gone through, let's say. So it's a really, really bad perception of social media that is going on, and it is majorly because of uh what Instagram has put through also, and also what most of the people want. Like Instagram has become much more kind of a dating site for teenagers, or even uh for adults, like early 20s. Not lot not lot more of people are using social media as it want us to use to, because it is getting, like, especially Instagram is getting into a lot of spaces. Like Instagram is a photo, also a photo platform, also a stories, like Snapchat also. reels like TikTok. It is becoming way too much, and the attention span thing, lots of things are happening around it right now. And if hypothetically, let's say this whole thing happened correctly according to the Instagram, they build of kind of an whole ecosystem and bring parents together from all over the world, especially to have there's this kind of features and control over the teen style. It is a good thing, I think. Yeah. And I think obviously you can't stop the alternate. I think personally, I think like if the children want to get another account, they definitely can breach those accounts. But at least in now, Instagram don't have this kind of accusations that they are having right now, because lots of children are getting so lots of complaints are getting about Instagram, how especially from parents around the world, you know lots of cyberbullying is happening, lots of uh, especially cyberbullying is kind of stuff that makes a lot of people concerned, especially parents around their children who use social media. And it is a much more kind of an uh, deeper problem that I don't think that is going to getting solved by this whole teens account. But at least it is kind of a safe uh, regards or safe a safety thing for a parent to think about. Okay, at least my child is, I know what my children is going through and going in an app, and whatever it is or he or she is doing on that app. And it let's see, because they have said till the end of the year they will be deploying the teens account feature to in US. So at least right now, still I'm record to this day I'm recording, there hasn't been much kind of update from what it is going on. So obviously I will be updating in future. But I want to talk about the another thing, the business side of it. What is happening, that is, if you know, last couple of weeks there is also the discourse is going on the internet that especially the the social media is getting banned in Australia for teens, for children, the children under age 16. The social media is getting going to get banned in the sense is like the teens who are 16 and below are not be able to use Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. They will be not be getting to use those apps. And it's a huge market for Instagram, especially for the teens. So they don't want to miss those kind of age gap, Instagram. And let's say even Australia especially get through this and uh, bans is using the Instagram uh, people like children under 16. So it is a lot of a great initiative, I think, by the government. That is because of the whole cyberbullying thing for the teens, whatever is happening all around the world. And Instagram don't want, I think, that to be made kind of an example to the other countries too, who also start seeing that, oh, like Australia has done this, like, and they are having positive response, especially lower cyber crime rates. Then why not in our country too? And especially people are quick to follow, governments are quick to follow up, especially any problems regarding teens, especially in Europe, US, and hopefully in India too. But it is a lot of concern that, let's say, they ban or restrict using social media for teens, then lots of huge chunk of market that is mostly Instagram has, uh, can get disturb for Instagram and can get, see, the whole Instagram, the reason why Instagram exists and they make money is basically out of our how much time we spend on their platform. And that, and it is really really bad for their business if that whole chunk of business goes, and they don't want, you know. And so I think this, the Mark Zuckerberg and even Adam know, especially in future, this kind of thing is going to happen because a lot of, as I say earlier, like bad reputation, bad social media reputations, and they wanted kind of hand having a safety net like this kind of a team's account. And let's say I don't know that like how severe steps are Australia government is taking about making these restrictions against social media. But if they do, I do wanna see how others react to it, especially the companies, and how other governments do. But right now it's just in talks. It has just been a talk for last 2 months only. But in that 2 months, Instagram launched its teens account. I don't know how Instagram will fight back. I don't think they should fight back on this, especially this kind of, because they are already don't have that kind of uh, really good, you know, position. So just, I think they just should just embrace it, and they can give the government this their teens account plan about having this kind of plan in front of them, and let's say what happens. But for now it is kind of an difficult thing to say or even to predict what can happen about it. And also it is not easy to just like restrict Instagram or any other social media below 16 age of group, because lots of things has to be happen, and it is a long term process. But at least in next couple of months we will be knowing, and definitely I will be posting on more about this on my newsletter. But also if you are much also, uh, I will be also be updating that in our podcast here too. But let's say it happens, I do want to see how people react to it. Lots of discourse will be happening on the internet right now. Nobody is paying attention to it because lots of people know like this is not going to happen, especially the restrictions about the social media app. Let's see. So our second headline for today is YouTube announced couple of new features that, let's say, both for communities, for creators, and YouTube users too. Um, let's talk about the creators first. So YouTube announced a couple of features. First major features, I think one of them is generative video model for shorts. So now whenever, so YouTube is obviously integrating AI in YouTube now, starting with shorts that is simple and not much more kind of people pay attention to it. But yeah, shorts basically, what they are doing is making, with the help of generative video models, with the help of just simple text prompts, I think you can make your own AI videos for shorts on YouTube. It will, I haven't seen, like this was announced like last month, in the second week of the last month, that is October, and I haven't seen a single AI generative video still to this day, especially on making through like their features. But let's see about other features. Another feature they have announced is known as the hype feature. Hype feature is much more kind of an interesting one. So this feature will be only available for accounts between having subscribers from 500 to 500k subscriber. You subscribe YouTube channels. So what hype feature does is, let's say you are watching a video of a YouTube on a YouTube and you actually like that video, then you can, there will be a button just like how like button, share button, download buttons are there on the button, I think, and you will be able to hype that video. And after hyping that video, the number of hype that video gets, the number of hype that video gets, the number of more recommendation that video will be getting to others. And also there will be a different hype playlist that will be updated on live, where hype videos will be in that in its own playlist on YouTube. So basically it is just kind of an feature where I think it is more towards audience and audience based feedback, much probably, I think, where that what they are trying to do is, if you like specific videos and let's say this video you really like, you can hype that video. So more hype a video gets, the more it is getting recommended to the more people. It is much more kind of a feature to enhance the much more kind of an community driven thing, like how in Reddit we have upvote, like upvoting, it will be recommended to more people. Just like that, I think hype feature will be there, like it will be like whenever we hyping. And also another more important thing, it is like it is for much more kind of an small channels, like channels between 500 subscribers and between 500K. So it is much more kind of an important for those channel to get this feature, rather than having channels those have millions of subscribers. They don't need it. And YouTube, I think, specifically did that on purpose, because they want to encourage especially the small creators who are uh, doing this much more kind of an professionally and like a job, and want to get their videos out there on for lots of people. So I think a good feature for both, I think, for community, for people who are using YouTube, and also for the um especially the creators. But uh, uh the downside of it is having manipulating that whole system, because you will be getting only 2 or 3 hype a day. So you can only hype 2 videos a day. Let's say if you have 2 hypes, you can only hype 2 videos per day. And if you buy, I think if you buy YouTube Premium, you have more hypes, I think. But yeah, it can be used as a negative, like much more kind of an negative side of it. But I think giving it some restriction between 500 to 500K subscribers, subscribe YouTube channel, it does make sense to me, much more kind of an than just giving it to everyone. It is encouraging to small creators like me right now, and also for audience to having that kind of interaction, oh, giving hype. So a good feature for both creators. So after this, they also launched communities and they expanding their dubbing tool. So communities is basically their new way of interacting with the creator and audience, with their audience. Because right now, for now, we have community tabs, that is community post that we creator can post on our channel, uh, that will be recommended, and also the comment section. So apart from these two things, we don't have much more kind of an interactive section on YouTube. These communities will let more interactive and much more kind of an uh, one-to-one interaction with creator, I think. But still, I have not seen how it works, and it is difficult to add much more kind of an on top of a layer of an YouTube, because uh, right now YouTube is much more kind of a video platform than any kind of a social media platform, even though YouTube does come under social media category for most of the time, but YouTube is much more kind of a video streaming platform. And how they are going to get balancing between these two is much more kind of important. Like, we don't want to do too much where YouTube turns into a social media platform, and it 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 goes into the same trajectory what Instagram is going, or any other social media platform is going, that to become everything in one app. Like, Instagram wants to become everything. Like, they want to have video also, they want to have photos also, they want to have stories also, they want to have DMs. Like, you can also chat. So lots of things are going on Instagram. Like they have channels, they have member channels for creators on Instagram too. Lots of things. Same with what is X is trying to do on its platform. Same what any other platform, social media. So I don't want YouTube to go on that trajectory. I want YouTube to stay much more video platform than the social media platform. And I also don't want I also do want the interaction between their uh, creator and uh, their audience. But I don't want that turn into be much more kind of a social media thing where you can also DM other, uh, you can follow, or creating that whole environment of a social media, getting how many followers you have. Because the major thing of YouTube which I really like about is it's much more kind of a video platform, and the interaction on YouTube is on a totally different way. And the audience on YouTube, whenever I go into the comment section and have kind of an interaction, it's much more mature and much more kind of a really good way of, and people are really good at interacting in YouTube comment section than and any comment on Instagram. That is, I don't even want to talk about those. That is so much bad down there on what is happening on Instagram comment section. But at least in YouTube, it is more kind of educated people, I think. Much more people are getting, um, uh, people do have sensible talk on the comment section, I think, even in the comment discourse about anything what is happening. So at least, let's say, I just don't want to turn that whole thing into Instagram comment section, because turning your app into a social media, or even like a Twitter thing, even Reddit. YouTube has a totally different audience, and they should stick with it. Rather than expanding into social media thing, stick to your only video platform servicing, and in that how you can expand the communities rather than making it kind of a more social media kind of thing. But yeah, that is YouTube updates. But one major thing YouTube did, that is, I think, 1 week ago, or like 2 weeks ago, is they have now YouTube Shorts will be more than now YouTube Short will be more than 1 minute. Up to 3 minutes you can upload a YouTube Short now. That it was a highly recommended feature that all creators wanted, because 1 minute short was getting too much kind of um, a small amount of time to compact everything. I think I personally wanted the 3 minute short, but I hope they don't increase the time. Then there is no point in doing that. But yeah, from now, or if you see lots of, you will be seeing lots of more than 1 minute short. Not that people want to, yeah, not that people want to get that 3 minute mark done, but lots of people want that breathing space in between their shots, basically. So, like, if I'm making a shot, I at least want a 1 minute 30 second, 1 minute 20 second kind of a time, for my shot, because 1 minute is too much to concise in one thing. So it is kind of an difficult but also much more kind of an easy now to do. But yeah, for easy enough for to creators, but I hope they understand, and YouTube understands that they have already have a long form content too. So I hope what YouTube is trying to do is like giving a 3 minute mark, and that's it. We are not expanding more than 3 minutes. That is what a short define means a short means. Because when we go on Instagram, when I see there are 5 minute videos on Instagram too, and 7 minute videos on Instagram can be uploaded. But yeah, so it is not defined what of kind of a video platform they want to be. Are they want to be in long form? They have said they don't want to be in a long form, but it provides but it also provides you to upload more than 3 minute short, 3 minute reel. So I don't know what they're trying to do there. So I hope YouTube understands that it is already a video service video platform, and it already has a long form content on their platform, and they just don't blur the line between the what is long form, what is short form. We need to have a perfect line between it. Like, okay, content under 3 minutes, if you are making, you can upload up to short content after 3 minutes. You can't, and it will be automatically will be updated. It will be automatically be known as a big a long form video. So from if you are a creator who is listening this will and so all the old videos, if you have been watching uh, for creators, all the old videos if you have created, or all the listeners, all the creator for all the creators, uh, couple of things to notice here. The 3 minute mark is the shorts now. The second thing, important thing, is all the before videos up to 3 minute mark will not be converted direct, will not obviously not be converted, but the videos that are in square shape or even in horizontal line by horizontal short format, or you can say ratio, will automatically be turned into a short, which will help you to which will help YouTube to recommend more long form shorts that is up to 3 minutes that are to more people. And if you don't want to, you can always exclude it, but if you want to include your 3 minute short into at like 1 minute 20 seconds, 1 minute 30 minutes, 1 minute 30 seconds, or 2 minutes video that you want to get into short, you can do that. And I and all the other videos that are above 3 minutes are basically considered long form. That is a long form video, and under 3 minutes you can, up to 3 minutes you can now upload a short video. I think a good initiative by YouTube. Let's see how it goes. I haven't seen more long form shorts now. uh, l- let's see what happens. So this is it for YouTube. Couple of updates they have done, and yeah, let's talk about the big event that happened also by the Tesla, the V Robot event by them. So let's talk about the Tesla event that is called V Robot event, that is happened 2 weeks ago, again last month. So three things they announced in that whole event, that is Robotaxi, Robovan, and Tesla Bot. Um, Starting from Robotaxi, what Robotaxi is, it is a two-seater taxi, first of all, that you can own, obviously, The robo taxi is a two-seater taxi for, okay, it is a wireless charging car. First of all, it has no any kind of holes to plug in for charging like Tesla Supercharged. Okay, it has no steering wheels, no pedals. Okay, then they, okay, this is it. I think this is all information that we can have for now. Yeah, it is two-seater car. First of all, I don't know why, but okay, it is a wireless charging, still okay, but it doesn't have much more kind of like like when you see inside of it of the that robo taxi car, it doesn't have much more kind of a thing going on inside. It is plain. It doesn't have steering wheels, it doesn't have pedals like accelerator, brake. You can't basically drive it. It is fully autonomous according to them. Yeah, you just have to get there, and you there will be a gigantic iPad screen kind of a thing in front of you, just like how any other car, big like Tesla has, basically you can say. And you just have to select the destination where you want to go, and it will take you to it. Okay, hypothetically, concept wise, it is a great thing. Okay, but even speaking hypothetically, let's say it takes safely from one point to another point. Okay, okay, even if it is better, and even if it is really good what it does, let's say self-driving feature is doing great and it is best right now. Okay, it is, there is no fault in it. But let's talk about the another kind of concerns we have here. Okay, first of all, why it is a two-seater car? Okay, let's say I want to buy a car, yeah, a robot taxi specifically. And the whole thing about robot taxi here is you can buy it and use it as your own car, and also use, and whenever you go back to your work, or you are not, you are co- and you are not working at that day specifically, let's say, and that car will be doing taxi work for you autonomously, without any kind of an driver in that car. That's the whole thing about that car. Let's say the situations they talk about in the whole event, where let's say you go from your home to your office with that car, and when the car drops you at your own office, then basically what it does is it turns it turns your car into taxi. Basic, Basically it is a taxi. So obviously automatically it will be giving ride to other passengers, will making money for you while you are working in your office or while you are in your home. That's the main theme around autonomous, the full autonomy of that car. Okay, but let's see why it is a two-seater car. First of all, okay, just because it looks cool and it's kind of a sport kind of an car looking kind of a thing, uh, it is, or even kind of looking futuristic thing. Putting that whole thing aside, why isn't that car it a five-seater car? Not every car has to be, not everyone is, not everyone that is going, wants to go from one destination to another from a taxi is going to have two-seaters. Lots of three-seaters going to happen, lots of four-seaters are going to happen. you know how they are going to, I don't know. It's like the two-seater is so much kind of a downgrade kind of a thing for me. Then another major thing for me. Okay, a lots of question, but here another major thing for me here is like how the booking system will handle. Like, is there going to be another Tesla app, or is there going to be same, much more kind of an extended thing in the same Tesla app that you have on your phones? you know. So what is going to be is like, is this going to be much more kind of a new app, new market for another people? Like, we don't know. Yeah. Mm. Third major thing for me. Yeah. Yeah. Third major thing for me, that is the pricing. Yeah, how the pricing will be working. Like, will it be much more kind of and cheaper? Yeah. Um, or even to the point is like, is this kind of a commercial thing, or like will that whole car will come in under commercial aspect of an, how other cars like ubers and ubers and rickshaws are there, is like, is that going to be in a commercial car system, or is that going to be a private like all other car? I don't know still that too, lots of questions that they haven't answered in that event. Yeah. And their whole theme was like, giving us a future where whole parking lots get converted into parks. Like, that was like that whole robotaxi is a so hypothetical concept, and I do want to believe Elon Musk, and he has delivered. Let's say if he has promised something 100%, he has delivered it in terms of, let's say, at least 90% of the things. Like here, yeah, like this, like this year they completed their Cybertruck deliveries. Like, you know, even though they have announced way 4 5 years back, but still they delivered it. I was like sure back in those days when I saw first time that Cybertruck, no way is that Cybertruck is going to be on our roads, just looking by its design. Okay, but it did came. It does look good. When I see that car, I haven't seen that in person, obviously, because I'm in India and there is no Cybertruck in India right now. But yeah, it does look good. That car has good features. Yeah, it it does what a truck means to do. At least giving a competition to other cars, other trucks around it. But yeah, it got launched. But I think it did go through significant change to come into here, at least in terms of some couple of design changes. But at least I think this robot taxi, I don't think couple of things are going to be same as they have mentioned in this event. I don't think it will be two car system. Uh, yeah, it will be a 4 or 5 seater like a normal car when the final product will be shipping. I'm making predictions here, and it will be yeah, or not a wireless charging. It will be a wired charging, I think. Yeah. I don't think they will be having a good uh, uh, wire charging is much more kind of an, I will say, easier for people to do than wireless charging. I haven't seen a commercial wireless charging system right now that is working for most of the people. You know, even to this day, wire charging is much more kind of and confusing for lots of people. You know, yeah, is because up until to this year, lots of like all the EVs were having different kind of plugin system, so lots of people having kind of a trouble having their charging stations not getting like, not lot of having charging station closer. So now the all EVs have made an kind of an agreements, like now they will be using kind of one, now they will be using kind of a one charging system. So it is kind of an easy for lots of people to use those kind of charging stations that built across countries, especially in US, to use one system, and now lots of people just can use one car system. That is okay, I think, a good initiative. But now you announce something like wireless charging system on a commercial level. how is this going to work? You know, lots of people don't have parkings. Yeah, lots of people like uh, they have still haven't law. We haven't seen how wireless wheel charging will be working, especially in these whole concepts. Yeah, a lot of hypothetically things that have been like, and the whole thing happens because I am hypothetically assuming all things works because it has a really good, let's say it doesn't even have any kind of an accidents, you know. Yeah, it is so good that it doesn't, like, hypothetically I'm assuming that it goes well into self-driving, that it's still not. Tesla still doesn't have self-driving that is good enough for people to trust that, you know. Yeah, do not, like, lots of people don't trust Tesla self-driving. So what I like, lot of hypothetically uh, things around it, but let's move on to the another product they launched, that is RoboVan, which is much more kind of an hypothetical uh, thing than the Robo Taxi. You know, when that Robo Van came, it was obviously designed as Tesla always goes with futuristic thing, always doing something different, just like uh, iRobot movie. But in RoboVan, 20 people at a time, 20 people can sit. Yeah, uh, at a time, 20 people can sit in that RoboVan. Uh, but same, hypothetically speaking, it is a good looking RoboVan. Inside it is okay how it looks, because when it comes to public transport, I don't know how it will be getting implemented into. Yeah, like, first of all, when you see that robo van inside interior things, lots of things that are missing that a public transport should have. Yeah, again it is an autonomous. Yeah, and still people don't trust. Hypothetically speaking, if the self-driving is good, then we can talk about the whole Rowan thing. Like, it accommodates more than, like, up to 20 people. Um, uh, like, people who are standing there, though they don't have much more kind of a grip to, you know, uh, stand there, like, you know, like, it just doesn't make sense, Robovan. And on top of that, it is a driverless autonomous Robovan. How are people gonna trust that thing? You know, it's a lot of work needs to be happening here, and like, it is much more kind of an thing that I can say that not coming, like, it has really less chance than a robot taxi, I will say. Yeah, then there is another third product that they show on their event, that is their Tesla bot. That is basically their Optimus robot there that Tesla is working on the background for past couple of years. And it was okay till the point that Elon said that, oh, these are the robots that we are working on, and he just goes and says like this, yeah, you will be able to buy these robots. Yeah, and in near future, like, you will be having those in your home, and you will be able to buy this robot under $30,000 US dollars. And I was like, what the, how is that even possible? First thing, you know, uh, okay, even though I'm being so much negative around this whole things, hypothetically speaking, that robots can't even, those robots are not, will not even be able to walk properly in that whole. Yeah, and also, even excluding the whole controversial thing around how that whole robots who were operated by humans by a controller on the back end, you know, whole robots, even robots talking were not also those robots were talking, it was a human behind it. And even avoiding that whole thing, getting a robot is not a small thing into a, especially in commercial space, you know, for public to buy it, you know, the amount of regulations that has to go through, because it is a humanoid robot. It is not as simple as getting an those kind of robots we see around, you can play around. And that is a full function humanoid robot that is having a lot of, that will be having a lot of discourse on the public. Yeah, like like lots of hypothetical hypothetically talked in that event happened, you know. And you know after completing that whole event, after watching that whole event, uh, I came to a conclusion here that I'm gonna talk about. That is, the whole event was kind of an PR stunt for Tesla, basically. Yeah, the reason why is simple as that. Because see, just because last 4 years of Tesla was all being about the Cybertruck and how they are making the Cybertruck, because lots of people were having doubts around Cybertruck, because that, first of all, design, and how is that going to get into the public according to its design only. Lots of people having their thoughts about it, and many people were thinking that that is never going to come out. But they worked on it for 5 years, and now it's here. Like this year they launched their Cybertruck to public and giving one by one to everyone who has pre-booked the Cybertruck, their own Cybertruck, and they completed their task. So now Tesla doesn't have anything for the future plan, you know. So it is kind of an PR stunt to like say, okay, hey, now the Cybertruck is completed. Now we have Robotaxi, Robovan, and a Tesla bot for our future product that we are going to ship for the, that we are going to sell to the people now. Yeah, and now they are entering in commercial aspect of it, where like Robotaxi, where a car can make your own money. You don't even have to go outside. It is whole autonomous. Giving that you in future kind of an hypothetically future scenarios for the people. But yeah, like it was basically a PR stunt for Tesla for next 5 to 6 years, basically. And even in that 5 to 6 years, I hardly say that RoboVan and even Tesla bot is coming to even in production. I don't think so. The Tesla bot needs to have lots of things going to work on. And when it comes to the RoboVan, there is a lot of things to disclose around it. So I think we need more information around it. RoboVan, especially, how it going to work. Like, are people even going to get that RoboVan, or is this for the government? Is this for the government to get and used as a public transport? It's lots of question, you know. And the whole robotaxi is much more kind of a reasonable thing that I can think about. Okay, robotaxi can be a good thing, hypothetically speaking, if the self-driving is good here. Okay, so lot of the all three things that they announced in this whole event, much more kind of an their PR stunt about for the future, for their not just investors but their future trajectory of where Tesla is going. You know, like now we have completed the Cybertruck, and it's Cybertruck, and it is getting shipped now most of people. So now what Tesla wants is the next 5 to 6 years, what people need to talk about, like what is Tesla doing right now. Tesla is making these three products. They want people to talk about these products, like right now I'm talking. But hypothetically, like say, like even practically speaking, all I'm trying to say here that this product, that like robo taxi, robo van, even Tesla bought, is kind of an whole PR stunt for Tesla, I think, right now. And like they do want to have kind of an uh like people, like they want people to talk about their Tesla. So this is their trajectory for next couple of years, at least for next decade. Yeah, like even Elon Musk said that the robot taxi is coming in next 2 years. It's nearly is impossible. Yeah, like I believe that he can give robot taxi with in future couple of changes. Like I think two seater is going to be 5 seaters, and we are going to have a wheel there, and also pedals also. Yeah, lots of questions around it, but I think it is not going to get shipped in next 2 years. Yeah, lots of promises were made in that event, but I think it is much more kind of an PR stunt as for Tesla, for much more kind of a PR stunt for Tesla to show their company's future, but that future looks way too distant. Like for next 10 years, I think they will be working on these products, but I'm much more kind of interested in their much more a new Tesla Roadster, if they are going to even make it, or even new Tesla models for people, especially. The newer fresh models are good, but yeah, like making these kind of promises, and yeah, especially the inflation going around, like I don't know how much thing this, like I think this is going to cost, especially the robot taxi, at least 100K, or starting from 80K, 85 or 90K, seeing the inflation what we are going through. So yeah, this is my ultimate thought about the Tesla V Robot event for now. It is good to see that Tesla is entering a new era, but I don't want companies to show the hypothetical future that same that happened this year. Like lots of people talked about how Rabbit R1 and human pin were going to change the future, and it is not. Yeah, it is not that simple thing to say, uh, that one kind of a product will change the entire thing. It is has to be kind of a balance in between both ways. So I do believe Elon Musk, via like what he has established up until now, especially with Tesla. Even we are talking Tesla, they have accomplished great things, especially in the EV stuff, especially in the EV. Yeah, Tesla is up there at like a gigantic EV company, and I like of all companies, I do want to believe it, but what they have announced in this V Robot event is a really distant future, and lots of changes has to be done, lots of information has to be disclosed regarding these products. And I do believe a robot taxi especially can be happening in future, but we definitely need lots of information around it. But yeah, I don't think that robo like Tesla bot is ever going to come in next 10 years commercially, in my home here, just sitting here in my home and doing my work. Yeah, and even robo van. Yeah, I don't know what they are trying to do. Yeah, I think in commercial space, especially in industrial commercial space, it can be happening, especially Tesla, and that is what other uh, robot companies are trying to make, like making robots do the work that no human can do, especially for like say automating work, like especially in factories. Like even robots exist in factories now. Even in Tesla has their, in Tesla factory you can see the robots, but these humanoid robots will be like, lots of companies are working around humanoid robots, but humanoid robots in factories, I can see that humanoid robots in difficult tasks, especially in the rescuing situations, I can see that. Even in space systems, like space, going into space and uh, getting robots there, I can see that. But in a regular day-to-day use, roaming around people or even in your house, a very distant future. Yeah, I can see robot taxi happening. I can see the future what they're trying to give us here with robot taxi, but it is too hypothetical, and the amount of time they have said, like the 2 years, it is just impossible. Yeah, so out of all companies, I believe Tesla can do it, but still, it's like, they have said this kind of things. From that whole thing, I think they can deliver like this one product that is, I think that can be shipped in next 5 years. Yeah, so let's see what happens. I definitely wanna cover it more in future, what happens around these products. uh, Especially small, if you want to keep updated yourself with small these changes, I will like ultimately recommend to go and subscribe to my newsletter, which will be help much more kind of an daily weekly updates for you, what is happening around this kind of. I do follow up updates on this kind of events, small updates that is happening on my newsletters. And what I will be doing on my podcast here will be doing this, making those small updates and giving it a bunch of uh, getting bunch of updates and giving it to more much more precisely here on my podcast. But if you want to follow it more, do subscribe to my newsletter. Ultimately, if you are much more kind of reader, uh, go, link will be down in the description. I hope you like this episode. I will be there in the next week too, again Fridays, not like this today, like Saturdays. I will be there on Friday in the morning. Yeah, episode will be uploaded both on my newsletter, on my YouTube, on any other audio platform you want to listen. It will be available. So, so yeah, that's it for today's that episode. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy the episode. And I hope you enjoy the episode. I will see you in the next week. Hopefully, I'll do the episodes much more consistently now that I have done some changes regarding my podcast. And also, I will be announcing much more kind of in different things in future. So do stay tuned on the podcast, especially the intros. So yeah, that's it for today's episode. See you guys in the next week.